We're also streaming live on Facebook at Metro News and on Twitter at Metro TVGH. I am MORO, AWUDU. Now coming up in this edition, the opposition NDC is demanding investigations into what they describe as wrongful termination of the Ghana Power Generation Company contract, which has cost the country $170 million. Also in the news, onion traders at the Agbogboloshi market remain defiant despite a 500,000 cedi transportation allowance to enable them cart their goods to Ajin Kotoku. Well, Newsline is always brought to you by Delta Paper, producers of floral disposable tissue. Newsline returns shortly.
Need a little help? Nobody does it better. At UCS Facility Management, we give you the best in janitorial services, which include high-rise window cleaning, office cleaning, post-construction cleaning, facade washing, deep cleaning, carpet cleaning, swimming pool cleaning, and event janitorial services. Locate us at AWUDU, JA Plant Pool premises, or call us on 0501-666-322 or 0203-299-212 or 0203-299-234. UCS, your property is under our care.
Did you know that cloth handkerchief gets dirty and wet after wiping your sweat or blowing your nose with it? Keeping a dirty handkerchief in your pocket or bag is very unhygienic. Reusing it increases your chances of getting sick from germs. That is why I always use floral disposable handkerchief. Floral disposable handkerchiefs is disposable, thus making it a more hygienic option. It's thick and very absorbent. With 10 tissues in a pack, floral disposable handkerchief is better than a cloth handkerchief.
Mommy, my floral disposable handkerchief.
Look out for Flora toilet roll, Flora multi-purpose paper towels, Flora table napkins, and Flora box tissues in a shop near you. For both purchases, call Delta Paper Mail on 0243 033 033.
And welcome back to the program. We'll now look at our first story, where the opposition NDC is calling for investigations into what they describe as the wrongful termination of the Ghana Power Generation Company, that's GPGC contract, which has cost the country a whopping $170 million US judgment debt. The National Communications Officer of the party, Sami Jemfi, said both the government of Ghana and the Attorney General had no legal justification for terminating the agreement. Derek Adote has more in this report.
Ghana Power Generation Company won a $170 million judgment debt against the government of Ghana at the London Commercial Court of International Arbitration after a contract signed by the Iswal Mahama government is alleged to have been wrongfully terminated. Speaking to the media, Communications Officer of the NDC, Sami Jemfi, said the termination of the contract has no legal justification in the first place.
Their willful recklessness in terminating the GPGC EPA on the basis of contrived and frivolous excuses is the reason why Ghana has been slapped with this avoidable judgment debt.
He accused the Attorney General, Godfrey Dame, and the government of being incompetent and sloppy in the way they handled the court process to save Ghana from the judgment debt.
The NDC is appalled and disgusted by the incompetence, sloppiness, and recklessness that was displayed by the MPP Akufo-Addo government, particularly the Aegis Department in the conduct of this case.
He called for investigations into the termination of the GPGC EPA contract, adding all persons who might have wrongfully caused financial loss to the state be punished.
The NDC, ladies and gentlemen, hereby calls for investigations into the circumstances surrounding the unlawful termination of the GPGC EPA. We also demand that all officials of the Akufo-Addo government who were directly or indirectly involved in the processes leading to this huge financial loss to the states are held responsible.
Now, a 40-year-old father of 5 who was allegedly beaten to a pulp by some unknown persons in the early hours of Saturday, June 26, 2021, in front of his house at Ijira in the Ashanti region, has lost his life. Now, the deceased, Ibrahim Mohammed, who is also believed to be a member of the Economic Fighters League, and recently the Fix the Country movement, is reported to have been attacked by a mob at about 1:30 a.m. on Saturday, June 26, 2021. His shout for help drew the attention of some residents of Sabon Line, that's a Zongo community in the Ejura township, but they came in late to find him lying unconscious. Now, Ibrahim Mohammed, alias Macho Kaka, was quickly rushed to the Ejura Sechedumasi District Hospital. After assessing the degree of injuries sustained, he was referred to the Komfo Anochi Teaching Hospital. Now, the activist finally gave up the ghost on Monday, June 28, 2021. According to the family of late Ibrahim Mohammed, he had been using social media to highlight challenges within Ejura, particularly abandoned government projects that he believes deserve attention from state actors. They believe this action may have influenced some persons to attack him, since he had been warned by some unknown persons prior to the attack. Now, some reports have suggested that he once received an audio message cautioning him about his constant criticism of the government. Meanwhile, the police in the area say they have begun investigations into the matter. They, however, say they have not been able to make any arrest yet. Through to a family member of Ibrahim Mohammed to speak to him about what steps they've taken so far. As and when we get through to them, we'll be talking to them on Newsline right here on Metro TV. But in the meantime, health workers at the Pantan Hospital today hit the streets to demand government intervention on the encroachment of lands belonging to the Pantan Hospital. Officials at the hospital say until the authorities remove the unlawful occupants on the hospital lands, they will not resume work or give any care to their patients, since earlier request hasn't yielded any results. Metro News' Elvis Andor has the rest of the story.
We have now new brought-up slums whereby dubious things goes on there, and our safety is not safe. Yes, because sometimes when you close for afternoon shift and you're walking even through our pavement, you are being attacked, you are being nabbed. 2013, we have made our concerns, we've made our various concerns to the various powers that be. And anytime it's like, we'll solve it, nothing happens. 2017 it happened, they promised us, they didn't do anything. 2020, just last year, the Minister of Health and powers that be were informed. They said they would come here, put up a wall around the hospital, give us a police station. Yet, nobody. The wall was not even up to 10%.
These were some concerns raised by the health officials at the Pantan Hospital earlier today to drum home their plea for government to intervene in getting the encroachers off the hospital lands. Dr. Ales Owusu is General Secretary of the Ghana Medical Association at the Pantan Hospital, and he had this to say.
Pantan Hospital is defaced at the frontage by unauthorized structures, kiosks, containers, and then permanent commercial and residential buildings as a result of land grabbing by private developers. The Municipal Assembly maintains that no one has been given permits for these structures, and yet the same Assembly has shown little or no interest in taking measures to reverse the worrying trend.
He added a police post, which was constructed about a year ago, has not had any security personnel occupying it till date. and until their concerns are heeded to and all encroachers who have unlawfully occupied their lands are relocated, they will not provide their services as health officials.
We have, as a last resort, resorted to running away from danger effective today, the 28th of June 2021, until steps are taken by the government to make our work and residential environment safer.
The indefinite strike, tagged #Run for Your Life, according to the health officials at the hospital, will not end if the appropriate authorities do not act fast to remedy their plight.
We can now revisit that sad story of a 40-year-old father of 5 who was allegedly beaten to a pulp by some unknown persons in the early hours of Saturday, June 26, 2021, in front of his house at Ejura in the Ashanti region. He's lost his life, unfortunately. We can now speak to Hadi Yakubu. Now, Hadi Yakubu is a member of the Economic Fighters League. He's the fighter general, also a colleague of the deceased. Let's speak to him to tell us what's the latest in terms of information on this very, very gruesome murder. Hadi Yakubu, good evening. Thank you very much for joining us on Newsline on Metro TV.
Good evening, Metro TV, and thank you for having me.
Right. First of all, I'd like to say condolences to you and, for that matter, the family of this man. What has happened since his death? Can you update us?
Well, his body was still at the morgue the last time I checked, and I think the police were still doing some processes before handing over the body to the family. And being a Muslim, I'm sure by tomorrow they will be preparing to bury the body. But as we speak now, the whole of this evening, the youth of Ejura are on the streets, and they are very agitated, asking for justice for the martyred Kaka, because they recognize that Kaka was not just fighting for himself. Kaka was fighting for the community, which would eventually benefit all of them. And they realize that whatever happens to Kaka happens to all of them. And they're chanting, touch one, touch all, touch one, touch all. I understand that the security situation in the area is so it's dire, because there is massive outpouring of emotion from the people, and so that is what has pertained since the.
Right, Hadi, let me ask you this: have you been interacting with the police? Have you filed a formal complaint? What's the police saying?
We are filing tomorrow with the IGP. Formal complaint had been filed with the Ejura District Police. They say they are still investigating. They haven't arrested anyone.
Right.
We think that this cannot be left just at the local level, and we'll be escalating it to the national level, the level of the IGP tomorrow, with a formal letter.
Now, let me ask you this, Hadi. How much of a blow has this dealt, this advocacy that you have embarked upon?
Well, on the contrary, the morale of the young people who have dedicated themselves, their energy and time and brains to fighting for this country has not been dampened at all. Their morale has rather been increased, seeing that whatever they are doing is hitting the system, and the system does not like it. And therefore, we are banding together and rededicating ourselves to making sure that whatever duty that we have to perform to get this country to reach the potential that the founders intended it to reach.
All right.
We will do it.
All right. Hadi Yakubu, thank you very much for talking to us on Newsline, and you have a great night. Once again, you have our condolences. Now, 5 persons have so far lost their lives, while 3 others are missing following the recent floods in the Ashanti region. Property worth thousands of cedis have also been lost. NADMO officials who have visited the affected communities say the irresponsible disposal of waste is a contributing factor to the disasters. This is a report by Metro News Ashanti regional correspondent Abdelbasit Suleiman, read to you.
Flooding at the Patasi estate. It has never happened. Maybe if it was happening, very minimal, but with some churches filling the waters, the wetlands and blocking the waterways has been a source of worry. My brother, you and I know sometimes people are blaming the chiefs. For me, I don't blame them, because if you want to plant a cabbage, you need to go for the land. Is that not it? If you want to plant cabbages, you need to go for wetlands. If you want to plant sugarcane, you need to go for permits. So if somebody has been acquired wetland and is putting up the structures, who are supposed to give the permits? Yes, and they have the monitoring team. So the question has been answered. All the MMDCs should set up a monitoring team. They themselves should be the leader of the monitoring team, because we are not in the normal times and things have changed. So they have to intensify their monitoring teams. They themselves should go out there and check the wetlands and where people are, in the new site where people are putting structures. If it is adequate, then they will know how to go about it.
Well, let's now go on to Zoom and speak with Ashanti regional correspondent Abdelbasit Suleiman to tell us more. Abdelbasit, thanks for joining us. What's the latest on the floods?
Yeah, with regards to the flood in the Ashanti region, as you rightly said, so far 5 people have been confirmed dead, whilst 3 are missing, and the search team are still searching for them. And a lot of places that have been affected, particularly the markets, KJTR markets were affected, and Asafo market. Even today, the traders went out in their numbers to protest against the flooding that destroyed their properties in the market this morning. Fortunately for them, hours after their demonstration, the Minister for Works and Housing visited the place and ordered for demolition of some structures that have been built on waterways. And most of, as the NADMO director rightly said, most of these floods are usually caused by blockage of waterways. No doubt about that. If you visit a lot of places, people have blocked a lot of waterways. They are filling the waterways to build residential houses and so on and so forth. So currently in Ashanti region, even though the flood, the rain was somewhere on Wednesday and Thursday, but a lot of people or the community are still counting their losses in the Ashanti region. So far, 5 people have lost their life and 3 are missing, are yet to be found.
Right, now, how much support are the city authorities giving to these traders? And also, the rains are with us, or are going to be with us for a while. Are there any immediate interventions that the NADMO officials intend to take, or the city authorities intend to take, to make sure that we do not see what happened again? Because lives have been lost, property have been lost.
Yeah, as for the support, I tried finding out from the NADMO director, and what he told me is they are now trying to mobilize something, but that will be after they are able to gather all the all the distractions that are taking place, and to be specific of the number of deaths, so that they will know which family they will visit and who would receive what support. Regarding I spoke with the city physical planning officer of the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly as to the way forward as we set in the rainy season. What he also suggested is that there should be an investment in construction of many drains within the system. He mentioned some places that drains have been overused and needs to be expanded.
All right.
Because at that time that it was constructed, the population of that community was not up to the one they have now. So he's suggesting that.
Yes, Abdul Basit, I want to thank you very much for the reports. Thank you. You have a good night. We're going to be taking a short break. This is Newsline on Metro TV. When we come back, there's more. Stay tuned in.
Masa, tam Maria, I'm kind of coffee. I am doing more budget bonnet. Have a beer, you can have a beer, right?
HD logo the bottom. Where you say HD local channels na mo and so pictures here clear. E 5 times better. As other channels that could be your hormone. So what I mention when I'm rack away. Oh, what the pictures. What the picture? What do AD plus decoder or multi TV and now natural agent PR natural local channels now HD the here is better star 879 hash numbers from Kubo box and now the advert AD channels now you can
get an HD plus decoder from now till the 9th of August for just $89.99 Ghana cedis and enjoy 3 months free subscription. Enjoy all the excitement and live sports action in the HD Plus Air Bosso Fili promo lasts from 7th June to 9th August 2021. Visit hd-plus.com.gh or call 024-243-9872 for more info.
Half a nose for good things.
Welcome back. Now, the president of the Ghana Journalists Association is requesting for a number of waivers and stimulus packages for journalists and media organizations to be able to deal with the challenges of the times brought about by the COVID-19 pandemic. Among the fiscal measures that he's proposing is the waiver on spectrum and regulation fees for broadcasting institutions for a year and 3 months waiver on corporate taxes on wages of journalists. Roland Afel Money made this request when the GG executives paid a courtesy call on President Akufo-Addo at the Jubilee House.
The reality is that many media houses, indeed all of them, are still reeling under the devastating impact of COVID-19. We proposed in a letter we sent to you earlier that a stimulus package be extended to the media community. Specifically, we proposed that government waive spectrum and regulation fees for broadcasting institutions for 1 year. Government should also waive corporate tax on wages of media practitioners for 3 months. We also went ahead to propose that there should be an injection of oxygen into the private media to the tune of 5 million cedis to help them to recover. We believe that this a positive response from your office will help bring the media back to normal.
President Akufo-Addo has proposed a two-state plan to put an end to the long-standing dispute between Israel and Palestine. Speaking to the outgoing Israeli ambassador Shani Cooper, President Akufo-Addo hoped that the Israelis' new Prime Minister Naftali Bennett will lead peace talks to end the century-long battle between the two nations.
Jerusalem has been the center of violent confrontations between Jews and Arabs for over a century. This has mainly been fueled by plans to evict Palestinians from East Jerusalem. Hundreds of people have lost their lives and many more on both sides rendered homeless. During her visit to the Jubilee House on Monday to officially bid farewell to President Akufo-Addo after a successful 3-year tour of duty in the country, Israeli Ambassador Shani Cooper expressed gratitude to the Ghanaian government for the support throughout her stay. She said trade relations between both countries within the period have been enhanced.
Happy to report that the number of Israeli companies interested in doing business with Ghana and in Ghana has gone up tremendously, and the number of beneficiaries, Ghanaian beneficiaries of Mashav, the Israeli Development Agency, has also gone up, including specific programs that were built by Mashav for Ghana in agriculture and health.
President Akufo-Addo was grateful to the Israeli government for the investment in various sectors of the economy. He then charged the government of Israel to bring an end to the protracted conflict with Palestine.
We are still very committed here in Ghana to this two-state solution to the problems in the Middle East, which will see Israel living within universally acknowledged borders, side by side.
Now, onion traders at the AWUDU market remain defiant despite an ultimatum by the Ghana West Municipal Assembly for them to relocate to Ajin Kotoku by 1st of July 2021. And not even a 500,000 cedis transport allowance by government to the traders through the Office of the National Chief Imam will convince them to rescind their decision. They once again expressed their frustration at a deba organized by the Regional Minister, Henry Quarte, at Ajin Kotoku. There's more in this report.
Onion traders at the AWUDU market will have to move to this new Ajin Kotoku market by 1st July 2021. The new market, though yet to be completed, was earmarked over a decade ago in a bid to decongest the central business district. A grand stakeholders deba at Ajin Kotoku was not enough to convince the onion traders.
Promise to bring you more in our subsequent report, but this is all that time would allow us. This is Newsline. My name is MORO. I hope you enjoyed yourself. Have a good night. Remember, the news never sleeps.
Metro TV.